on, let's go, boy!
What is up, folks? We're back talking about the Marvels MCU movie. Last time we talked about any MCU was it Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, actually. Yeah, huh?
I'm sorry. This movie's a punching bag to me right now. It's so easy to beat up on it, but no, go ahead, Chris.
The second movie that honestly, much like Guardians, you can definitely tell they took their time on it, which that's to its benefit because it did get delayed because of COVID.
CJ, can we honestly say that they took their time on it? First of all, there were reshoots.
What I mean by that is the visual effects aren't jank compared to
visually.
That's what I'm saying. The visual effects, just like Guardians, it's like, okay, cool. Like them delaying it, that was because of COVID, and they had to readjust the schedule and shit. So I ain't gonna say take their time, actually, but yeah.
But in this movie's case, no, there were reshoots, like a bunch of reshoots, and
because of Secret Invasion.
Not even just that. Like it's a bunch of there was a bunch of reshoots. There was the freaking title was changed because it was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2, then they called it the Marvels, so they changed the story up in the sense. And
no, it was always supposed to be called the Marvels.
Like it was originally supposed to be called Captain Marvel 2.
They had this pegged way back when we went to San Diego back in 2019, dog.
Okay, man.
That Captain Marvel 2 was tentative because nobody knew when she was getting a sequel to her own movie. So Captain Marvel 2 was tentative until they was like, oh yeah, we're doing the Marvels. And that was when we were at San Diego.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to tell you is that it was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2.
It wasn't supposed to. It's just rumored to.
Okay.
I'm telling you that somebody that's been. I'm just informing you. Like
I know it's fine.
It was just tentative.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, I'm not even the biggest Captain Marvel fan, so it really doesn't matter to me. All I know is like the mixed bag stuff that's been going around with this movie, the reshoots, and is it true that the director pretty much walked away from this?
Fuck no. She literally came out and was like, yeah, when they were doing reshoots, it bled into when she got tagged for another project, and she literally got blessings from Feige. Like, yeah, if you need to take care of that since you already did your work on the post-production. She literally just did an interview about that.
All right.
That's why I'm like, everybody's blowing the rumors. I'm like, she literally just did an interview just the other day about that.
Like, look, I had questions, and that's why I just directed them to you. That's
no. The strike just ended, which is kind of timing for this, but she
ended the day actually.
Yeah, so before that she was the only one doing press, but now obviously the other actors can do it. But she came out yesterday and was like, yeah, when we had to do reshoots and such, and I was in post-production, he allowed me to do what I need to do to start up my other project and also still take care of this. So, but anyways, back to the Marvels. I do like this movie. I think it did a better job of making people like Carol compared to the first movie. And I say that only because she had other people to bounce off of, because I think the issue with the first film was that it was so much of an origin story that you didn't get much of like who Carol was, because she was trying to figure out her memory wipe situation. And now you have this film, she has two other people to bounce off of, so you at least get more of a character arc with her in a way and stuff. And then on top of the simplicity of its hour and 45-minute runtime, which thank God it was like straight to the fucking point of the proceedings. Because God knows if this shit was 2 hours and 2.5 hours, I'd be like, all right, movie, what are we doing here? Straight up. I would definitely would have been feeling some way. But the movie is very straightforward. Pretty much it at the background of it, just like the first film, it's kind of still dealing with the whole Kree and Skrull conflict of it. And at the center now, the Kree are basically trying to basically fix their home world because Carol fucked it up by killing the Supreme Intelligence.
So finally got to see that, huh?
Yeah, it was actually good. It wasn't just having, a Skype call with the Supreme Intelligence like in the first film. So now we actually saw it proper, and I was like, thank you. So there was actually some resolution for it. Because to be honest, Captain Marvel is a character in MCU because of where her movie was positioned and going into Endgame. Endgame, she's just there as like the fucking like, oh yeah, we need her to save the day, and then boom, that's it. So you got nothing. You didn't know, okay, what was Carol doing out in space? What was she doing? And this movie addresses it, and that's pretty much the central conceit is her destroying the Supreme Intelligence, fucked up the Kree stuff, and now the Kree's trying to restore this stuff, and Carol, Kamala, and Monica are at the center of it. Simple, to the point, nothing crazy. That's it. So,
well, I'm glad you enjoyed the season finale to Miss Marvel. that's how it played out to me. I mean, I get the straight to the pointness of this movie, but I was like, God, this movie was going at somewhat of a breakneck pace. Where, I didn't know this particular moment that popped up in the movie. Carol, is this what you've been doing? Is this what you meant by there were other planets that needed my help that never, that didn't have you, the Avengers? This is what this is what was so important.
Yeah, Carol was definitely had a secret life on another planet.
And it just the way that it just comes out there, like this is why you were always away. Okay, all right. How much time is left? 55. Okay, all right.
That's what I said. If it was 2.5 hours, they would have extended that shit out. Like, it would have been to the point to where it'd been like, you know what? I don't blame anybody that will probably look at that part like, what the fuck is this? But because it's like you said, the breakneck speed of it, it's like, okay, this is a thing. Cool. Okay, we moved on now. Thank you. Cool. It's done.
Yeah, it's like, here it is, and we never see it again.
Which I'm fine with. It's like, look, I would take that versus them sitting on that shit for 30 more minutes, and we're both of us looking at each other like, so do we really need more of this? Because no, like, I'm fine with it, but like, keep it simple. That's it.
I will say this. It was cute the first 2 minutes. I didn't need the additional 20 minutes.
Well, you mean the additional 10 minutes, and then they stop singing, and it's like, oh, so they can't. Okay. But that's to me, that's the kind of the thing about simplicity and getting to the point, is that there is the negative side of it. Because like you said, it's the breakneck speed of this movie. While they do explain these characters and how they came to be, it's kind of one of those things that if you did watch Miss Marvel or WandaVision, you did kind of have a leg up and like, all right, cool, fine. If you didn't, then you're going to be sitting back like, okay, can you slow down for a minute movie so I can digest what got thrown in my face for a minute here, and I can see the other half of it where people are like, okay, this is, wow, can we stop? And the movie doesn't relent on that. They keep going all the way to the end.
There's no time to stop and breathe for a second. It's, let's get through this as fast as possible. Record breaking, like, Marvel movie under 2 hours. Who knew we could do that?
Yeah, that's why I said, for better or worse, it's kind of like there is a gift and a curse of being simple, and the negative of it is the breakneck speed. And it's kind of one of those things where you listen to folks, because prior to this, I mean, how many people have sat there and said, "Oh man, did this movie really need to be this long?" And that's fair. Let's be real. That is a fair assessment.
I'm about to say, I was gonna say, yeah, they said that about other non-Marvel movies.
Oh no, there were some people that, despite liking Guardians 3, felt that movie was a little too long.
I don't think it was. It's a Guardians movie.
I know, but there were some people that felt that they could have cut like 15, 20 minutes out of it. And I'm like,
guarantee nobody ever said that about a Captain America movie.
Fuck, of course they didn't.
Exactly my point.
But me, I'm willing to understand people that feel some movies are too long. So it's all right, fine, right? But past that, the breakneck speed of it and stuff, what really gels the movie together is just the three characters and their camaraderie. That's really the thing that you come into with this film watching, is those camaraderie, and that is the glue that stays together. Because let's be real, the weakest element of the movie is the villain, despite how simple her despite how simple her objective is. And I'm fine with the simplicity. It's kind of like, all right, cool, I see what you're doing. It's very genocide-y. All right, cool, I can dig that. And trust me, folks, people die in this film.
Yeah, people die in this film, which is to be expected, but no,
it's not made light of. I can appreciate that.
From what you're saying, from what you just said about The simplicity of the villain and the villain's objective. Oh yeah. How many times have we seen this? Like how many times have we seen this like this character type in like in terms of villain? First of all, this villain, in my opinion, was very forgettable. Hell, I don't even remember her name.
I think it's what was it? Yeah.
Don't bother
Dar-
because I don't care.
Darbin.
Darvin.
I just said she's leader of the Kree on Hala. I know the name of the planet. Again, her simplicity is like, hey, I'm trying to terraform back my planet by breaking the space-time barrier that allows people to space travel. All right, cool. And then it's like put it this way. It reminded me of some of the villains from phase 1 and 2. Because you remember, I don't know if you remember Thor Dark World, but the
I remember.
Dark Elf in that one. Very forgettable. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm trying to bring all the 9 realms together so I can rule it. All right, cool. And then as soon as he gets defeated, you're kind of like, that was it. And it's the same with her.
And it's the way the villains get defeated. Like when throwaway villains get defeated in the most throwaway way possible, that always never sits right with me. I'm like
this one, and it's not a spoiler, but how she goes out, it's like, well, at least that's admirable and it makes sense. But there were some other villains where you're sitting back like, that's it. Wow, like that's.
I said that with this one. I was like, wait, that's it.
I mean, look.
I laughed when I saw her get taken out.
How she got taken out, it's like, all right, I can dig the MacGuffin aspect of it, but a little anticlimactic in a way.
Little, you're being nice, sir. That was.
No, I say little because it's like, all right, you gave her a good fight with the 3 Marvels, cool, dope, and then it's just like, boom, that's it. And it's like, wait a minute, that's all right, cool. At least they didn't fucking drag the shit out. But fuck, man, like that's. But that goes into, like you were saying, the whole thing with rewrites and stuff, because I feel like how jank Secret Invasion ended up fucking being, it really kind of.
Which that should have just been a movie. I didn't need a series without a Secret Invasion. It should have been a movie, and that is a hill I will fight to the end.
I don't think anybody's denied you. I told you Moon Knight should have been a movie, so I don't think anybody's going to deny
agree with that too. Moon Knight should have definitely been a movie.
The way how jank Secret Invasion went, despite some of the ideas that was actually pretty good, I feel it put the Marvels in kind of a very crappy situation. Because, like I said at the outset, the background, just like in Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion, is the whole Kree-Skrull conflict, and how haphazard they did that in Secret Invasion is kind of like, yeah, you kind of screw some of your other properties now to where they gotta fucking fix like the mistakes of your show in order for it to work in their film, and that's where you can kind of tell like. Yeah, Secret Invasion was supposed to kind of play a little bit of a role in the Marvels in a way that you could tell they cut certain things out, because the Skrulls are in this movie, but the part that they're in the movie, the part that they were in the movie, you could tell like that was supposed to be extended to kind of address certain things.
Oh, and most definitely. The part that they were in, I'm like, okay, why did I get the feeling there was supposed to be a whole lot more story involving them, and we only see them like in what 2 to 3 really, really small parts of just conversation.
10 minutes tops, and I'm being nice on that.
Like in conversation pieces, and then the rest of it, it's one moment, and then we never see them again after that.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks in a way, because that conflict between those races is a big role, and it's kind of a shame that like the nature of how a show went kind of messed them up in a way, and I hate that in a way, and it does bring this movie down just a little bit for me on that end, because it's the potential of what could have been, kind of, and that's unfortunate. But past that, like I said, straightforward story, anticlimactic in terms of the villain, which could have been better. Like I said, camaraderie between those 3 is what carries it. Even Nick Fury and Kamala's family definitely play a pretty good role in the movie in terms of keeping people entertained and them finding something for them to do in a comedic way, which I'm fine with.
There was a whole lot of comic relief in this movie. Nick Fury being at the center of it, and everybody else doing the typical MCU quips and jokes. They're back in full force in this movie. Yeah. Out of all the ones, maybe about five solid jokes landed for me as being actually funny.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like, okay, yep, heard this type of exchange before. Like, come on, like, give me something else. I will say I'm glad we got a whole lot more Goose in this movie.
Yeah, that's kind of the one of the overarching jokes of Goose is him playing a factor into the movie for better or worse, depending on how
Yeah,
you feel about it and stuff. But yeah, past that, I like the visual effects of the film. Like I said, it didn't come across jank compared to Ant-Man
yeah, they
Quantumania.
learned their lesson from Ant-Man.
Like I like the distinctive power uses from each one so they don't feel like they blend with each other. That was kind of like my fear, like are all their power sets going to blend together in terms of the visual of it, and thankfully it didn't. So I was like, thank you, thank God. Especially with them like teleporting because they're entangled in this film. And yeah, them being
like, we won't go into how exactly that happens. You got to see it. You got to see it to understand it. But to take Nick Fury's line when he heard was, he said, okay, new rule, don't touch weird glowing shit.
which I mean, he ain't lying on that one. It's like this is a thing in like damn near not just MCU, but a lot of films where people feel the need to fucking touch shit. Like, look, I just played fucking Spider-Man 2. Kirk Connors lost his goddamn arm because he had to touch the fucking symbiote when he came from space. Spoilers.
Yeah, like,
I was sitting back like, Kurt, you could have just poked it with a fucking stick and you'd been good. Nah, let me touch it with my hand. Let me touch it with my fucking hand.
He could have used anything. Could have used a ruler. Could have used the ballpoint pen.
You were in the woods. You had a stick right there, bro. Like, Nick ain't lying. He was like, bro, don't touch anything. Stop it. Like, and that, look, I appreciated they made Nick Fury not necessarily the grumpy old man, but just like, come on, guys.
He's comic relief.
What are we doing here? Why? No, let's,
He's comic relief. In fact, he says a line. I'm not going to say what it is. You got to see it for yourself. He says a line that I definitely cringed at, but I let it go because it fits this movie, but still is.
If it was any other movie, yeah, that would have been like, what white person wrote that into the fucking movie?
Oh, absolutely.
This is like, because of what the exchange was coming at, it's like, yeah, that tracks. That fucking tracks. Of course they would.
It tracks. It definitely tracks. I don't like it, but it tracks.
I liked it, but it was just the delivery of it could have been better, personally. Like, if you're gonna do it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the fact that he said that and that was the trigger that made what need to happen. I said, "Oh, shut up, movie."
Granted, no, I know, no, I'll take that back. No, I appreciate delivery because that's some Sam Jackson shit. Like he could have said nigga, and that was his way of saying nigga. Basically, that's how I carried it. That's how I carried it.
I mean, well, look, he told Spider-Man, "Bitch, please," but then when you find out that he was a Skrull, it's like, oh, that doesn't. It doesn't count because it wasn't really him.
Nah, this is like when the line he said was like, okay, that tracks because you can't say nigga because that wouldn't really go over well. So I don't think.
I mean, dare to be different.
I know, but family, friends, and nigga, we like it, but other people.
I would say, technically, I would say wait till if he were to appear in Daredevil, that'd be different.
Oh yeah, of course. But nah,
no, not just Daredevil, but also Deadpool.
True. This is true. This is true. But nah, this, like I said, the character interactions, visual effects were fine. The music was okay. I wasn't like it like other than the Captain Marvel music that they used from the first film. The music choices that they used worked. It wasn't like annoying and stuff because you look at the trailer for the film and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna really eat out that Beastie Boys song, and they only really had it like in one scene in the film. I'm like, oh,
yeah, it was one scene.
Kind of shocked, very much shocked on that end on that one. But yeah, like I said, overall, I thought it was fine. Like I said, it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. Like it definitely ain't like it. Put it this way, it's better than Ant-Man Quantumania to me, and I enjoyed aspects of that film, but like this movie didn't hit for me compared to like.
CJ, the bar is in hell to be better than Ant-Man at this point.
No, the bar is in hell to be better than Morbius. That's the bar. Like that's where the bar is at. You gotta be better than Morbius.
No,
that's where we're at.
That doesn't count because that's Sony.
No, we're counting all superhero movies. People been doing.
Oh, now we're counting them. Well, if that's the case, then you got to be better than the Venom. There'll be carnage.
Yeah, which it is.
Oh,
It
oh,
is.
Morbius is better than
Oh
Venom
no
2?
no! I'm saying this movie, The Marvels, is better. No, Morbius is below fucking Let There Be Carnage to me, because it's like I can I could put on Let There Be Carnage in the background and be entertained in a way of just like, hey, what's happening? All right, cool, that's it. Morbius, I'm like, the fuck is going on here? Like, Tyrese, why are you here? What is your character? What do you do?
Never to
How's
be
it?
seen again.
How, again, as I said, the bar is in fucking hell here on that one. Like, it really is. Like I said, it's one of those things where you will get a lot of benefit out of this film if you did watch some of the other stuff, but at the same time, to the movie's credit, they basically get you through the cliff notes of what happened to these characters, and it's going to be very hit and miss depending on what you're looking for in this film. So if you're looking for the bad guy to be important, you're going to be disappointed. Let's just be real.
All right. I'm gonna give my my opinion on it. So this is not necessarily something that I would drop money on to see in the theaters. I would definitely, and I'm telling this to anyone who wants my opinion on it, wait for this to hit Disney Plus. Like, honest to God, wait for this to hit Disney Plus. Visually, yeah, it looks good. Like, they learned their lesson from Ant-Man, as we already said. The music was fine. The mid-credit scene, while it's really good, in my opinion, it was good. It definitely was. I want to say like 75% worth sitting through an hour 45. I'm not gonna, of course, see it for yourself. I'm not gonna say what it is. Hopefully by the time we put this review out, it hasn't already been spoiled, but a couple of people have already spoiled it.
See, I don't even count the mid credits as like being the big thing to watch this movie for, to be honest, because to me, at that point,
it is for me, because after Disney Marvel's been sitting on it for so freaking long, and they keep giving us these tiny little jabs here or there. I'm like, okay, finally something on screen that doesn't have to do with a multiverse. Well, kind of, but still, it's something. It's something. It's something a lot more concrete, in my opinion. The final thing I will say, Monica Rambeau was probably the real star of this movie. She was the GOAT. She was probably my favorite character in this movie. If anything, I would go see this movie just for her.
I thought Kamala and Monica were like the strongest ones easily. Just because, like I said, I think their dynamic is what saved Carol, which is why those two are like definitely like the big hits.
I'm just keeping it real with you. I don't care for Kamala and I don't care for Carol. I was here for Monica.
Yeah, that's fair.
After watching WandaVision and seeing what she went through, and then seeing how they, seeing what they did with her in this movie, I'm like, thank you, movie. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think she definitely got the benefit of really like finally we actually get more of her. Cause I think in WandaVision, she was at the whim of Wanda doing her shenanigans. And it's like, okay, cool, she got powers. Can we see more of her? Because that would be dope if we can. And then this movie, like you said, they put her front and center in a way of finally like, oh, now we know what her powers are. It's very distinct from Carol, and she's just as powerful as Carol. Easily. She's just as much of a fucking powerhouse as Carol, especially in certain moments where it's like, okay, so y'all guys matched it up like the comics, because even in the comics, both of them are powerhouses easily, just in different
ways, much on par with each other.
Yeah, because even though their power sets is different and stuff, it's still kind of like you probably don't want to fuck with either one of them in terms of like, trying to go one-on-one with them, because they'll probably end up fucking taking you out. So but yeah, you're right. Despite the post-credit scenes and stuff, yeah, that's why I think I'm so 50-50 on it, because it's like I enjoy it. I think the short time frame is the only reason why I would recommend people go to theaters and see it. But I also agree with you on the aspect of if it hits streaming, cool. If you don't have, I mean, look,
it's coming to Disney Plus, and when it does, watch it there. You're really not missing anything outside of, you're not missing anything by waiting to see it on Disney Plus. To me personally, it's not worth the theater visit.
Yeah. So yeah, but and you know what? I also real quick because I don't think we ever chatted about this. I feel the movie going experience, even past just Marvel stuff, just movies, period. I feel we have seen people, especially from the pandemic up to this point, they've really changed up their viewpoint on going to theaters now. Like you've seen a lot of comedians to cry like, "Oh, nobody goes to the theaters to see comedies." I'm like, bro, nobody's spending $18 to see a comedy. Sorry, it just is what the fuck it is. Like people will rather wait for VOD or streaming to see a comedy at this point. Just like you said, hey, wait for streaming for this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there has to be an adjustment on how a lot of studios go about their movies, which is, I mean, obviously you're seeing it right now with Disney, Marvel taking assessment, Marvel Studios taking assessment of like, all right, let's really dial it back and see, okay, what projects can we put in theaters that will make it worth the while versus just throwing anything out there and then just seeing what happens and stuff. So yeah, definitely if you feel like you want to go to the theaters and see this, cool. If you want to wait for streaming, cool. Just duck and dodge spoilers online because people are assholes online, and it's just you know what, it is stupid the nature of how we take in, well, not we, but just how people take in so much stuff on movies where they just search for spoilers. I'm like, why? You just kind of killed the beauty of actually watching a fucking movie and stuff, and then now you're so hung up on the post-credit scenes, and then you're like, well, what's the point of the movie? Well, you didn't watch the movie. So what the hell? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you didn't watch the movie, but you were so hard up on the post credits. It's just, you know, and that's on top of what we talked about at the outset. You were bringing up all the rumors and stuff, and it's just context matters. It really does.
And
it does.
That's why I asked for clarification on a lot of these rumors, because you got rumors that flying around that turned out to be true, some most that turn out to be untrue, and the whole thing gets muddied.
Yeah, and that's why I said you break it down like your thoughts on the movie from your perspective. It's like, no, I can understand that aspect because at this point, the movie going experience just boils down to, is it worth my time to go out to go see it? And if it isn't, and you can wait for streaming, cool, do that. Just stay the fuck off Twitter and all that, you know, X. I don't know why. Well, Twitter, fucking, I'm not even gonna say X. Twitter. It's Twitter. Just stay off social media and all that stuff. And if you want to go watch it, hey, maybe go to the matinee, you know, before evening and see it for lesser price, you know. So but yeah, we're getting towards the end of the year, you know. It's I think we got what, Aquaman left amongst other movies.
When does Aquaman drop?
I think it's this month, I believe, or December, 1 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus on top of we got the Nick Cage movie coming up that we're doing, and a lot of other stuff that's coming out this year. So it's yeah, we're striking into 2024 going strong. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully.
Yeah, December 22nd, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom. So there you go. So,
all right.
Christmas time. Yay. But yeah, that is it for the Marvels. And yeah, catch you guys later. Peace.
That boy is Benny Hanna.